You had to dig deep. Give us your thoughts.
Surprise, surprise, The king is back.
Today, we're diving into 4 of the most brutal, entertaining, and satisfying revenge stories in UFC history. Fighters who tasted defeat only to rise like warriors from the ashes to settle the score. Let's start with one of the most talked about rivalries of all time, Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz.
Really, the main thing to succeed in this game is to either be me or fight me. Everything else is peanuts, so ask Nate that.
March 5th, 2016. Conor McGregor, the notorious king of the UFC, stepped up to face Nate Diaz on short notice. The fight did not disappoint for fans of the sport. McGregor's precision striking versus Diaz's iron chin and relentless pace. But in the second round, McGregor made a critical mistake. Exhausted and battered, he shot for a takedown, a desperate move against a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Moments later, Diaz locked in the rear naked choke and the undefeated Conor McGregor tapped.
Nate Diaz!
Hey, I'm not surprised.
It is what it is. I'll face it like a man, like a champion, and come back and do it again.
I'm sure you will, sir, and I look forward to seeing you compete again.
But McGregor wasn't one to let this slide. He needed redemption. 5 months later, at UFC 202, the rematch was set. This time, Conor came prepared, with a laser focus on his cardio and a new strategy. The fight was a war, a brutal 5-round slugfest that showcased the heart and grit of both fighters. Bloodied and bruised, McGregor did just enough to cut out a majority decision victory, claiming his redemption.
Surprise, surprise, The king is back.
When Stipe Miocic lost his heavyweight title to Daniel Cormier in 2018, it wasn't just a loss, it was a shock to the MMA world. Miocic, the most successful heavyweight champion in UFC history, was knocked out in the first round. But Stipe isn't a man to go quietly. Over a year later, at UFC 241, Miocic got his chance at redemption. The fight started in Cormier's favour, but as the rounds went on, Stipe made a brilliant adjustment. He began targeting Cormier's body with crushing hooks, wearing him down. In the 4th round, Miocic unleashed a barrage of strikes that sent DC crumbling to the canvas. The title was back where it belonged, and Stipe had solidified his legacy as the baddest man on the planet.
Listen, guys, if you're not willing to go too far, you will never go far enough in life, and I don't care. I don't promote fights, I pick fights. I'm like John Jones, I sound like Sean Combs, and I got trombone-sized stones like John Holmes.
In the world of MMA, there are trash talkers, and then there's Sonnen. In 2010, Sonnen turned his trash talk into an art form.
This is going to be a one-sided pounding, and I'm swinging the hammer.
Relentlessly mocking Anderson Silva, the reigning middleweight king. But at UFC 117, Sonnen backed up his words. For 4.5 rounds, he dominated Silva, ground and pounding him like no one had ever done before. Just when it seemed like the spider's reign was over, Silva pulled off a miraculous triangle armbar submission in the final moments of the fight. It was one of the greatest comebacks in UFC history, but for Silva, it wasn't enough. He wanted a rematch to settle the score decisively. 2 years later, at UFC 148, the two rivals met again. This time, Silva was out to make a statement. Sonnen came out strong, taking Silva down in the first round. But in the second, Silva's legendary striking took over. After stuffing a takedown attempt, Silva landed a vicious knee to Sonnen's chest, followed by a flurry of punches to secure the TKO victory. The Spider had silenced the loudest mouth in MMA and proved once again why he was the greatest middleweight of all time.
Dustin thinks it's all talk, but when he wakes up with his nose plastered on the other side of his face, he's gonna know it's not all talk. Every single contest he gets in, he hits one knee. He does a gust of wind and he does the chicken dance. You know what I mean? Coming up against me, that's not going to be good. You know, I'm going to crack him with a jab and he's going to wobble and I'm going to put him away early. It's going to be a first round KO, mark my words.
In 2014, Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier first met inside the octagon. Conor was on a meteoric rise, and Poirier was his next victim. It took just one round for McGregor to deliver a devastating left hand that sent Poirier to the canvas. But for Dustin, this wasn't the end. It was the beginning of his redemption story. Fast forward to January 23rd, 2021, the two fighters met again at UFC 257. This time, it was a different Dustin Poirier, a more polished, experienced, and dangerous fighter. McGregor started strong, landing precise strikes, but Poirier had a plan. He battered McGregor's lead leg with brutal calf kicks, setting the stage for a second round TKO. The Diamond had earned his revenge. It wasn't just a win, it was a statement. The young, inexperienced Dustin Conor once defeated had become a dangerous killer, earning himself legend status. Revenge isn't just about winning, it's about proving to yourself and the world that you're unstoppable. These fighters tasted defeat and came back stronger, leaving us with some of the most epic moments in UFC history. Who's your favourite revenge story? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more incredible UFC stories.